Good morning, everyone. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes until we get a few more of the attendees that are registering. The counter is steadily rising, so we'll just wait a couple of minutes. Thanks very much, everybody. Okay, looks like there's a bit of a lull on the participants there, so we'll get cracking. And firstly, apologies, I am coming through from my iPad. I've had some technical issues this morning, so apologies about the weird camera angle, and I'll be probably looking into space but talking at the same time, so I'll just give everyone a heads up on that one. But look, thanks everyone for joining us. Good morning to everybody. We do have on our webinar today Jane Mason, Head of Product Channels and Risk, and Daniel Littledyke, the Partnerships Manager, who will be presenting on understanding your client's insurance needs and how to make it work for you with BizCover. Now, shortly I'll pass over to Jane and Daniel, but just to let you know, please do use the chat function if you have any questions that you want to ask throughout the session, and then we can ask those at the end of the session. So look, we also do have these on our YouTube channel, so if you can't make the whole session, we will have the replay of this up there, and we always do have all the rest of our presentations as well on the YouTube channel. So click subscribe and you'll get alerts when they are up on our YouTube channel. Now, I'll pass you over to Jane and Daniel to commence their presentation this morning. Thanks, guys.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. I'm here. Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. And I think I'll just give an advanced apologies, because despite working for financial technology, I do not work in the technology team. And I would say I am often technologically challenged. So for any of my tech mess ups, I sincerely apologize.
Well, we're 2.5 years into COVID. This should be easy now. Come on.
I pretty much have our IT support team on fast dial, and they know me very well.
Thanks very much, guys.
So thank you everyone for joining us today, and thanks Mark for the introduction. As Mark said, my name is Jane Mason, and I'm the head of our product, our channel distribution, and our risk and compliance area at BizCover. And I have Daniel Littledyke with me here today, our head of partnerships. So just a little bit about today's webinar before we kick off. Our aim today is to provide you with a general overview of insurance products that may be relevant to your clients. I know insurance is everybody's favourite subject, so it's sure to be very exciting, but we'll try and make it interesting. We'll look at how to identify insurance exposures that your clients may have, and we'll talk around a mechanism that we have to support you in assisting your clients easily and efficiently purchasing their insurance. And finally, we'll explore some options that are available for you to offer discounts to your clients for insurance, and also for you to earn an additional revenue stream for yourself through a referral channel. We will be providing the presentation to everybody afterwards, and I believe there is the opportunity also to ask questions, so throw them at us. So we'll just kick off with a bit of an introduction of, oh, here we go, here's my first, okay, there we go. For a bit of an introduction of BizCover. What I'll do here is you've got some stats up on the screen, but I'll give you a little bit of a background about who BizCover is, our ethos. We hold ourselves out as advocates for small business in the insurance space. As cheesy as it sounds, our motto is that small business is big business to us. BizCover started about in 2008 off the back of an insurance broking career of our CEO, Michael Gottlieb. What Michael discovered, I guess, through his insurance broking career is that while insurance is certainly a grudge purchase for most companies and often a fairly painful experience, for SMEs, it was a particularly cumbersome process, and they often struggled to access markets. There was extreme variance in pricing, and because of the smaller premiums, SMEs often didn't get a level of service or the comparative quotes that they needed to make informed insurance decisions. Also, unlike larger companies, SMEs often don't require bespoke insurance solutions. And for them, the missing piece of the puzzle is how to obtain comparative quotes for standard insurance products at competitive prices quickly and easily. So there is born BizCover. We were the first company globally to digitize and automate business insurance for SMEs. So let's take a look at where we are today. We currently insure 180,000 SMEs. We have an extremely broad appetite covering 6,000 occupations. We provide a contestable platform where we provide choice and comparison to up to 7 insurers across 8 different products. And we provide a simplified process for purchasing insurance where it can be done online within a matter of minutes. And we also have an Australian-based call centre to assist customers through that journey. A bit of a plug here for BizCover is we have our NPS of +70. And as you can see there, the industry average is normally between -5 and +20. We currently have a platform for SMEs to transact directly with us. We also have a platform for insurance brokers to use. And most relevant to today's conversation is we've recently launched a referral portal, which allows people to refer their customers to us for their business insurance needs. So that brings us to the next question. Why would a finance broker want or need to address insurance with their clients? So a bit of context to this slide. What we found over the years was we were getting countless referrals from finance brokers, from accountants and other professionals for their clients, for their business insurance needs. So off the back of this, we launched a pilot referral process, and we worked with a small number of professionals in launching the process. And we found that there were 3 main reasons that people were referring their clients to us for their business insurance needs. The first was around protecting their clients and also protecting their own interests to act in the best interests of their clients. As a trusted advisor to a client, you're in a unique position to have insights into a client's business and to also help them protect their business. So whether a client is first starting out and requires insurance to get themselves up and running, or whether a client, for example, is financing new machinery or financing an expansion, which may drive a change in their insurance needs, you are in a unique position to identify and help to protect them. As we'll see with some of the claims examples that we'll run through a little bit later, an insurance claim can potentially not only put an SME out of business, it can affect their ability to pay loan repayments or to pay their bills. So I guess having insurance as part of a broader risk management or risk transfer strategy is just as important for SME businesses as it is for larger businesses. Secondly, here we found that with the pilot group that we worked with, they found that having a referral channel provided a value-added service for their customers and helped to promote loyalty to their offering and to themselves. And thirdly, of course, Having a referral channel provided the opportunity for an additional and passive revenue stream for those companies referring businesses. Okay, so that's that in a nutshell. Now let's move on to the most exciting part, which is actually exploring and looking at business insurance. So unless you are a licensed insurance broker, we should note that you wouldn't actually be providing or giving advice to a business on which insurance would be most appropriate for their personal circumstances, but understanding which insurance is relevant to a customer can assist in knowing when it might be appropriate to refer a client and help them protect their business. So the first question we'll ask ourselves in trying to understand what is the insurance product most relevant to a customer would be, what industry is my customer in? And once we understand the industry that someone's in, we can then understand what is the primary insurance that is most relevant to them. So we broadly break up the industries into what we call PTRO. So we have professionals, trades, retail, and other. And professionals, as finance brokers are, people that provide a specialist advice or service. And examples: finance brokers, accountants, consultants, architects, allied health service providers, which I'll touch on a little bit more in detail. So broadly speaking, the primary insurance purchase for a professional is a professional indemnity product. And I'm sure you're all fairly familiar with professional indemnity. And so please forgive me if I'm telling things you already know. But professional indemnity covers a business for claims of negligence or errors or omissions while providing a service or advice. It also covers them for the legal costs associated with defending a claim. And claims arise from a financial loss by a third party and can result from a myriad of things, such as breach of contract, negligent advice, poor service, defamation. So professional indemnity is the primary product for most professionals, and it's normally required either by law or under contract, for example, for people to hold this product. A secondary product for professionals is often public liability or an office pack. Office pack I'll touch on a little bit later. Public liability is designed to protect a business as a result of injury to a customer or a member of the public, or property damage that results due to negligent business activities. So that could be a slip and fall. We have some examples coming up soon. I'll touch quickly on allied health services, because allied health providers, so non-medical service providers, so things such as massage therapists, physiotherapists, personal trainers, it's common in the industry for allied health professionals to purchase both a professional indemnity and a public liability product, because the service that they provide has a significant personal injury exposure. So for an allied health professional, a primary product would be both the professional indemnity and the public liability product. So next we'll move, that's professional indemnity in a nutshell. So a professional will require a professional indemnity product to protect them for financial loss resulting from advice or a service. So we'll move on to our claims examples. So here's a couple of claims examples. In this particular one, we have a nutritionist who, in promoting her own business, she shared statements on social media and other forums, which a professional colleague found to be defamatory and claimed that it caused a loss of income for her. In this particular situation, the insurer paid out $200,000 in damages and an additional $200,000 in legal fees. And our next example, we have an architect. In this particular case, the architect designed a gate, and due to a design fault, When the claimant tried to open the gate manually, the gate fell on her and caused multiple fractures to her ribs and pelvis and spine. In this particular case, the insurer paid in excess of $200,000 in damages and legal costs. Our next example here, we have a public liability example for a hairdresser. In this example, one of the customers of the hairdresser slipped and fell on some cut hair that was left on the floor, and this resulted in about $85,000 paid by the insurer. So let's move on to next. We have trades, retail and hospitality. So we had our primary insurance purchase for professional indemnity for professionals being a professional indemnity product. For trades, retail and hospitality, our primary purchase is a business pack product. So trades generally covers your general tradies, your construction workers, cleaners, plumbers, electricians, and retail and hospitality is fairly self-explanatory. It covers your restaurants, hotels, and retail outlets. A business pack insurance product is essentially exactly what it sounds like. It's a pack which enables a company to select particular covers that are most relevant to their particular business. It most commonly covers things such as stock, content for tradies, particularly around their tools, and it also protects them against damage to their commercial premises as a result of certain events such as fire, storm, or theft. You can see here on this slide, there is a broad range of covers available under a business insurance pack, also including things such as business interruption, which will cover the loss of profits in the event that a business is unable to trade. For a business pack product, the sum insured or the amount of cover that insured has will be very relevant, will be very particular to an individual business's circumstances. So for example, the value of the stock that they hold or the value of their tools will lend towards the sum insured that they have. And it's important to regularly review the sum insured, particularly where there's been a change in the business. For example, financing new machinery or financing an expansion to their business. That would it would be wise to review the sum insured because it might require a change to their business to their insurance requirements. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of a business pack claim. In this particular one, this poor bed and breakfast operator got hit with a double whammy. They had losses as a result of the 2019 bushfires, and then in the same year, they suffered losses as a result of severe storms. In this case, the insurer paid out over $500,000 to the insured over one policy period. In our next example, we have a sushi shop owner. The poor guy had a vehicle run into the front of his shop, which caused not only damage to the shop, but also caused, it prevented him from trading. So under this particular example, the insurer paid out under two sections of that business pack policy. The first was under the property and content section, and they also paid out under the business interruption section for their inability to trade. So business pack also, as I'd mentioned earlier, some professionals, we have what we call an office pack. Under an office pack, it's tailored towards professionals, which will mainly cover professionals, for example, the contents of their office, their computer equipment, for example, if it got damaged as a result of a flood. So that, in a nutshell, is the primary purchases or the primary business insurance purchases that we would have for professionals, being professional indemnity, and particularly with allied health, it would be professional indemnity and public liability. And our primary insurance purchase for retail, trade, and hospitality is normally a business pack or various sections of a business pack, depending on their individual needs. So we have our primary insurance products, but it's probably worthwhile also touching on what are some of our secondary insurance products. Secondary, not meaning that they're not important, but not necessarily required to operate their business or required by contract or required by law. So two of the main, I guess, secondary products the businesses are purchasing are cyber liability and management liability. Cyber liability is very much a buzzword at the moment, traditionally seen as a purchase required for larger companies, mainly because we see a lot of the disastrous events on the news for the larger companies. But surprisingly enough, SMEs are statistically the most likely to be hit by a cyber event or a cyber crime, mainly because they don't necessarily have the security measures in place that a larger company has. So for under a cyber policy, there's two main covers that are provided. The first will be a cover for claims that result from a cyber event. So, for example, a third party will claim against a business as a result of, for example, a privacy breach or loss of data. There is also a section under a cyber liability policy that covers the business themselves for the costs involved in either recovering from or loss of profits from a business interruption event as a result of a cyber activity. So a couple of examples here that we've had recently. We had a hairdresser who actually got their telephone system hacked. And when they got their bill at the end of the month, they had a $30,000 bill of unauthorized phone calls, which was picked up under their cyber liability policy. We've also had a mining company recently who had a disgruntled employee that uploaded malicious software to their system, and it made personal information, including credit card data, available to the public. And as a result, there were multiple fraudulent credit card transactions were made. In this particular case, the insurer paid out $1 million to set up a call centre to respond to inquiries. Also for credit monitoring services for those individuals that had been affected by the fraudulent credit card transactions. They covered the costs of the company themselves to restore any lost data as a result of the malicious software. And they also covered the legal fees that were incurred by the company to report individuals that had been affected by the credit card fraud, which was a requirement by the regulatory authorities. We also have management liability. So a management liability policy covers a director, directors and officers, and also the company themselves for exposures that relate to managing a business. For SMEs, or particularly smaller, particularly unlisted companies, management liability is most appropriate where the company either A, has employees, or B, has regulatory requirements that they must abide by. This being some of the main covers under management liability relate to employment-related disputes such as unfair dismissal, discrimination, or harassment. And it will also cover statutory liabilities in the event that a company has failed to comply with any of their regulatory obligations. So in a nutshell, that's Business Insurance 101 for SMEs. First question to ask yourself is, what industry is my client in? If they're a professional, then it's most likely they need a professional indemnity policy. If they're a trade, retail, or hospitality client, then they'd be looking for a BizPack policy. And then we have our secondary policies around public liability, cyber liability, and management liability. So I'm going to pass over to Dan now. Dan gets the joy of doing the fun part and the exciting part of the presentation, which is addressing how to make business insurance, addressing your client's business insurance needs work for you. Thanks, Dan.
No worries. Thanks, Jane. Hopefully everyone's still awake after talking about insurance for 20 minutes. We know it's not the most interesting subject in the world, but so if you just want to pop on to the next slide there, Jane. So it's how to talk to your clients about business insurance. So I think it's all kind of well and good, being equipped with basic insurance knowledge, as Jane's kind of touched on, but how do you actually go about approaching that with your clients in practice? So there's a couple of kind of simple questions that you can ask yourself and your clients to help kind of raise the topic of business insurance with them. So the first one is as Jane touched on, ask yourself, okay, what industry are they in? So you want to identify initially what products are going to be relevant for them. You can use the information above, or we have a wealth of resources that we're more than happy to share with you. And I think after this, I speak on behalf of myself and Jane, we're more than happy for anyone to kind of reach out to us by email if you do have any sort of insurance related questions there. The next question you want to be asking is, okay, do they have insurance in place at that time? So very simple. If the answer is no, it's probably wise for them to obtain a quote at that point. Regardless of their industry, in every industry, there's going to be risks associated with them operating a business. So that's often the kind of low-hanging fruit. If they don't have insurance in place, it's an easy place to kind of pose that question there. If the answer is yes, and they do have insurance in place, then are they interested in potentially exploring some savings on their insurance? Often people just kind of let their renewals tick over year on year, and the premium goes up and up and up, and they never seem to sort of shop around. So it's always good to kind of pose that savings question. Or are they potentially interested in obtaining quotes for additional products? So I think a lot of clients and specifically small business clients sort of take the bare minimum when they initially set up their insurance, and again just let their renewals kind of roll over with that bare minimum. They generally take out public liability and perhaps some contents cover, let's say. They may not be aware of some of the additional products that are on offer in the market that are often overlooked, specifically again by small businesses. So that's the likes of cyber liability, management liability, tax audit cover, which is obviously very relevant at the moment, coming up to the end of the financial year. So it's potentially looking around at some additional products for them. If they're not interested, which again, like we say, insurance isn't the most interesting thing in the world. People often don't really look at insurance until it's coming up for renewal, or they might not be interested because perhaps they've just renewed. Then find out the renewal date of their insurance, and if you are kind of looking at insurance as a viable vertical, as some sort of additional revenue there, if you diarize that renewal date, get back in contact with them 30 days out from their renewal, then it's much more likely that they're going to want to talk about insurance at that stage. Fortunately for insurance and specifically business insurance, it's very predictable. It comes around at exactly the same time every year. So we find that gathering insurance renewal dates throughout the course of the year, and again just diarising it can help massively. Again, people don't want to talk about insurance unless it's due. On to the next slide. Yep. So to kind of make it relevant for finance brokers, the question that you want to be asking here is, what are they getting a loan for? So are they getting a loan because it's an existing business and they're expanding, for argument's sake? Does their current insurance take into account the additional amounts that they're putting on top of that? So if they get a brand new piece of super expensive equipment that they've just got a loan for, or they're expanding and they're moving into a new premises, or they're doing renovations, for argument's sake, to their existing premises. Is that being taken into account on their existing insurance policy? Or are they being asked to pay a lot more to include it? You often find, as with many industries, they'll offer you some insurers may offer you a fantastic rate up front, and then when you start expanding the business and increasing certain aspects of your insurance, that's when the premium can really sort of skyrocket. So a lot of the time, if they're seeing an increase in premium, that's often the trigger for a lot of customers to kind of have a look around and see if they can get something cheaper elsewhere. The other thing is, if they're looking for a loan to cover some of their, new business startup costs, again, if they're moving into a brand new premises, or they're getting that equipment, they may need cover for those, or in fact, it is a very good practice for them to get cover for that. And then they have the additional products that they would need as a startup business, the standard products, public liability, professional indemnity, and the like. I think specifically as a sort of finance broker, you're in a fairly unique position in that it's very, very likely that you're catching a new business prior to when they actually have looked at insurance. So again, I think new businesses really can be low-hanging fruit, for want of a better term. And just the next slide there, James. I've got a blank slide, but it's essentially a very boring general advice disclaimer. So to be honest with you, it's quite good that I'm seeing a blank slide on my end. I think while it's kind of good practice for you to kind of make sure that your client's business is properly protected, you're not an insurance broker, so it is important to kind of ensure that you aren't providing them with real in-depth advice around specific limits that they should take out and the like, because you could end up essentially ultimately liable for that. Often I think we kind of have a tendency to want to go above and beyond for our clients and try and help them in every way possible, but I really would stray away from offering that really personalized advice, and I would just kind of leave that down to the professionals. Just the next slide then. Cool. So you and the BizCover referral portal. So this is the sort of why the hell would I talk to my clients about insurance? What's in it for me section. And I think a great opportunity here is through the referral portal. So the long and short essentially of what the referral portal offers is it allows business advisors, finance brokers, mortgage brokers, accountants, and the like to essentially just offer an additional service specifically to their SME clients by referring them to us for business insurance. So it essentially gives you a centralized place for you to refer your leads, track the progress of those leads, track commission, and also just provides a pretty good knowledge base for all things business insurance. So even if you just sign up and just solely use it for business insurance resources, just in case your clients ask any questions, we're kind of more than happy with that from our end. I think the kind of finance broking industry has really enjoyed the luxury of these sort of platforms for a very, very long time. So it probably isn't anything brand new to a lot of you, but finance brokers, I would say, are pretty ahead of the curve when it comes to adoption of technology, and business insurance has often kind of lagged behind that. But a platform that kind of automates a lot of the referral process for business insurance is unique in Australia. I don't believe there is a business insurer that offers a comprehensive referral platform outside of, hey, send me an email and I'll see what I can do, and hopefully I'll get back to you in a couple of weeks with good news. So on to some of the benefits of the portal. It's on the previous slide there, Jane. So some of the benefits of the portal there is, as Jane kind of briefly touched on earlier, it's good risk management for a finance broker and of course for their clients. So, you know, theoretically, if you secure a loan for your client for a new business premises or a piece of equipment that is absolutely essential for them to run their business, it's good to just make sure that they have insurance in place. So in the unlikely but potentially likely event of a claim, you know, they can continue their business and they continue ultimately paying that loan. Provides extra value to your clients by offering additional services all small businesses need. So again, all small businesses require some form of business insurance, whether they know it or not. And again, often they're looking at advisors like finance brokers and the like for advice on things that, you know, perhaps they shouldn't be advising on. So it's just a great way to kind of get them into a referral arrangement and pass them over to us so we can handle their insurance. The referral process itself is super easy. I mean, from referring to the customer, speaking to an agent on the phone, to them actually having the documents in their email, it could potentially take 30 minutes, 30 or 40 minutes at the absolute maximum, and that's from the referral. So I think it's fairly unique in that sense that they can sort of transact the business a lot quicker than a lot of other platforms would allow. The platform also allows for automatic tracking of lead progress. So again, one of the big things around a lot of referral arrangements is that you're often having to send over a lead and then you're constantly following up about where that lead is up to in the process. The referral portal, again, just provides that centralized place where you can see exactly where each of those leads are up to at any one time. You get some insights on the types of insurance that your customers are purchasing. So I think this one's kind of often overlooked. I think it's good to have fairly granular insights on what insurance a specific industry or occupation is purchasing, and the portal just allows us to provide the data on that. And then the fun part, we always offer exclusive discounts on there for you to offer your clients. So you really are providing that value add rather than just referring them over and, you know, they could have just gone to BizCover direct. And then finally, we do pay commissions on new business and referrals and renewals rather. So it can be a long-term sort of very, very passive revenue stream for your business. Just the next page. So I won't touch on this for too long. It's very, very straightforward. The sign-up process literally takes 30 seconds and then you're set up with your account and you've got your affiliate links and everything set up straight away. We've already seen a fairly good number of finance brokers using the portal, and you know, that's obviously great to see at the moment. It shows that there's an appetite within this industry. Just the next one. So how does it work? So again, it's very, very straightforward. So I won't touch on this for too long, but there's a couple of different ways that you can refer customers over to us, and it's obviously dependent on the way that you interact with your customers. There's an affiliate link. Everyone knows what an affiliate link is. Essentially, you can just use your link. Customers can hop online. They can get quotes. They can compare them. They can purchase their insurance. They can fully self-serve. And obviously, any sales that come through that link will just automatically be attached back to your partner account. There is co-branding available there as well. We have seen that in the past this does increase conversion, so we're more than happy to set up a co-branded landing page for you, co-branded quoting portal. It's very, very straightforward for us to set that up. and yeah, it just increases those conversions, and we think that's probably down to sort of brand recognition, really. You can use the lead form, again, super straightforward, just a really easy to use lead form. You just need basic details from your customers there, and you select a time for us to give them a call. The good thing about this is, again, it's all automated, so it sends a lead directly through to our sales team at exactly the correct time, and every lead will be serviced exactly when needed, essentially. So there's, again, kind of no need for waiting around and hoping that someone's going to get in contact with your lead. The other option there is just a bulk lead upload option. So again, if you don't want to sit there and process 20 leads, if you have them all in one go, there's a really easy to use Excel spreadsheet that you can just plug in, and again, it just works all automatically through our system, essentially. In terms of tracking, again, kind of touched on this before, you know exactly where all of your leads are up to in the sales process at all times. So I think with you know, insurance not being your core business, obviously, it's you know, you probably don't want to be spending a huge amount of time on manual follow-ups. So I think this just makes the process a little bit easier for that. There are also some insights that you can get on there as well that are fully customizable. Again, if you do sign up, just give us a call or drop us an email, and we can show you you know, how to customize these. And in terms of commission, so again, the portal just allows you to track your commission in real time. Commissions paid into your bank account automatically at the end of every quarter. So there's no need to kind of sit there and process invoices. And we pay commission on, you know, one referral and up. So there really is no kind of pressure to refer a huge number of leads. You can absolutely refer at your own pace. So yeah, I think that kind of brings us on to the end, really. Look, I mean, like I say, if you're looking for, well, it depends what you're looking for. If you're just looking for an additional revenue stream for your business, then that's perfect. Or whether you're looking to kind of provide that value add for your customers and hopefully save them some money on their insurance. You know, like I say, it's great to see a lot of you signing up at the moment, and yeah, we hope to work with a lot more of you in the future. Thanks very much for listening, and hopefully you'll all still be awake after talking about insurance for 45 minutes. So more than happy to kind of open up the floor to any questions there.
Wakey, wakey, everyone. Now, we did have some chat on the chat box, and you've obviously gone back there, mate. But did you want to just elaborate on the PI side of things there?
Yeah, Jane, did you want to elaborate on PI, or I mean, I can give them a brief idea of our sort of appetite, I guess. I mean, look, our appetite on the whole is very, very broad. I mean, we cover, as Jane said, over 6,000 occupations, and PI is a really, really strong point for us. So, you know, a whole multitude of professionals. Allied health is a real key industry that we can offer professional indemnity for. So if you have any in that space, or even trades, there are a fair few trades that require PI as well as part of contracts. So we can definitely look to cover that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I could touch on that just a little bit. So on our PI offering, we have 5 insurers that offer PI on our platform. And one of the things about referring is it's a referral, not a recommendation. So you're not referring to one individual insurer. By referring to the BizCover platform, the customer has access to a number of different insurers. And so we have some of Australia's leading insurers on our PI, including AIG, Jewel, QBE, Vero, Berkeley, on our PI offering. And we cover, so the 6,000 occupations cover all of our products across PI. It's 600 plus occupations that we cover on PI, and it's one of our strongest offerings.
Yeah, cool, thanks. Now, I'm just going to read one that's just come through. Here we go. Do you have key man insurance options?
It's one that we don't cover, unfortunately, I believe.
So broad, but not that broad.
Broad,
Yes.
but not that broad.
Key man insurance is a fairly niche product. It's just not something that we offer at the moment. I believe we could potentially be having a discussion with an insurer around it, but it's not in the sort of next few months that we'll be able to cover that.
Let's watch this space there. And just on the tech there, so, you know, I always love seeing those graphs and everything being developed. It gives you some really good, easy ways of tracking things. How long has that all been in train for, and how long does that take to develop and things like that?
So we brought this, or do you want to jump on down? Or?
To develop the referral portal itself, was that? Much longer than it should have, as is often the case with technology. Unfortunately, to give a bit of context, it kind of originally began with just a very basic lead form, and then we would send out a report every month, just letting them know whether any of the customers had bound. So it was a very, very clunky process. So, you know, it took a while to get to that point, but we've had it for around about a year now,
Right.
and we're still very much developing on there. There's a lot of things that are sort of coming over the next year or so in relation to incentives and the like, or further incentives, I should say. So yeah, watch this space. I think there's a lot of interesting things to come.
Awesome, thanks so much. I think we might have another one. Sorry, just bear with me. It's on my iPad at the moment, so it's a little bit more clunky than I'd normally like it to be. So we've got mobile operators, food fans, etc. I guess that's about the insurance as well. And then, do we give a discount to FBAA brokers and BizCover partners for their own PI covers?
Yep. For food vans, absolutely. We can cover the PL and equipment and whatnot on there. We're competitive for that, absolutely. The FBAA PI cover. So if it is for your own insurance, I believe.
And
FBAA,
you refer yourself.
Well, I believe FBAA have a preferred supplier for PI already, so they would be your first port of call. If they, in the unlikely event that they can't insure you, then you know you're more than happy to reach out to you, and we're happy to offer you a quote.
Cool. Lovely, thanks very much. And that looks like that's it for the questions at the moment. Look, thanks so much for your time, guys. That was awesome.
Thanks,
especially,
guys.
I really did like that tech stuff, which is, you know, if you're not doing it, you're going to be left behind. So it's really
100%.
good to see that you're, you know, you're really putting a lot of resources into those types of things, because that's what people want at the moment. They want nice, easy, nice and quick. Yeah,
the insurance industry is getting there slowly but surely.
One of the most archaic industries in the world. Yes.
It is.
And look, the portal's, I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory. If I can figure it out, I think anybody can.
Yeah.
But having said that, you know, Dan, I'll offer you up, Dan. Dan's always available for demonstrations of the portal and to run people through individually on how it works in some more detail.
Excellent. Thanks so much, guys. Well, look, that does conclude our session for today. As I mentioned earlier, this will be on replay on our YouTube channel with everything else that we put up. I would love some kind of like subscribe here type of button that all the YouTubers put up there, but I don't have one. But you'll just have to believe me and go to our YouTube channel and click the subscribe button yourself. But I certainly do it, and the notifications come up on my phone, you know, very regularly. So I do encourage everyone to do that. Post this session as well, you'll get a CPD code that you can use for your numbers for the year. But for now, look, thanks again for your time, and we'll see you next time.
Amazing. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Bye.